Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jer, and today I want to talk about trusting yourself, because earlier this year I started to realize that I was really second guessing myself and the decisions that I was making, but deep down inside I knew already which direction I was supposed to go in. So this past summer I was on my way home, and just a little backstory, I at this point had been living in my hometown for 29 years, and I had been living at my home for 4 years. But there was this route that I really didn't take often. I would go every now and then, like maybe once or twice a year. And I was on this road, and typically I would have my directions on, because there was like this tricky spot in the road where there were two different roads that looked very similar, but they took you different ways. And so I would always have my directions on. But for whatever reason, on this particular day, this past summer, I was like, you know what? I'm not using my directions. I know how to get there. I've been living here my entire life. I've gone this way several times, even if it's not on a regular basis. I'm just going to trust myself. So that's what I did. I turned my directions off, and I was able to make it home because I already knew which way I was supposed to go. And that's just a small example, but I've been on this journey of just trying to trust myself and be confident in the decisions that I'm making. I thought about that today because now I'm being faced with another decision. I've been thinking about it, I've been praying about it, but deep down inside, I already know what I'm supposed to do. And sometimes that's the case. Like, we already know what we're supposed to do, but for whatever reason, we might feel hesitant, we might feel stuck. You might be like me and you need 82 different confirmations. But I'm learning to trust myself and learning to trust the little voice inside of me, because you know how sometimes you might feel hesitant about something, or you might just have a gut feeling about something. I'm learning to trust myself to follow that voice, which I believe is the voice of God that is directing us and protecting us. And like, if you think back to past decisions that you've made, whether it turned out to be a good decision or if it turned out to be a not so great decision, like even if it wasn't the best decision, like you ended up where you are today. And so it was all a part of your journey. And I truly believe that even if we mess up, like God is so faithful to reroute us and get us back onto the best plan, the best path for our life. So when I moved a couple months ago, I got this huge U-Haul truck. Like, I mean, it was not the size of a regular U-Haul truck. It was closer to the size of an 18-wheeler. And I didn't even have that much stuff, so I don't know why I got such a big U-Haul truck. But I was struggling to drive the truck, y'all. And I was in my neighborhood, and I have a small neighborhood, and I was trying to turn around in the roundabout, and the truck would not fit in the roundabout. So I called my dad, and he didn't hear the phone ring. So I felt like I was stranded, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, God, like I really need help right now. And so out of nowhere, this man comes up to my window and asks me if I need help. I had been living in that neighborhood for 4 years, and I had never seen this man before in my life. And I would take walks in my neighborhood like all the time, but I was very aware of what was going on in my neighborhood, and I have never seen this man before in my life. And he came up to my window and he was like, hey, do you need help? And I was like, yes, I do need help. And so he was directing me from the outside of the vehicle, and he helped me to get the truck turned around in the direction that it was supposed to be in. But it just made me think, like, I made the decision to get that huge truck that I was not equipped to drive. But in the end, when I needed help, there were people that were already in place to help me get to where I was supposed to be. And that's the way that it works out. Like, God is always working everything out for your good. So if you have a choice to make, and I don't mean like a moral decision or a decision that's going to affect the rest of your life, like getting a tattoo on your forehead. I don't know why I just said that. I digress. When you have two choices and both of them are good choices, trust yourself to make the right decision, because you can't go wrong. You are still in the right place at the right time, and there are divine resources that are in place for you. So don't stress yourself out wondering if you're going to make the right decision. trust yourself. And I'm speaking to myself when I speak to you, but learning to trust yourself. And when I listen to that little voice, like when I have that unction about something and I follow it and it works out, that helps me to trust myself even more. And then something else that helps me to trust myself is spending time with myself, learning about what you like, what you don't like, what you value, what makes you upset, what makes you sad, what makes you happy, what leads you to make the decisions that you make, what causes you to have certain behaviors. When you spend time with yourself and you really get to know yourself, that also helps you to build trust in yourself because you know yourself. And it's important to always be spending time with yourself, always self-evaluating and being self-aware because you're not the same person that you used to be. And so you have to get to know this new version of yourself, and you'll be able to trust that version of yourself as well. Lastly, I want to say to give yourself grace, because I know like this is something that I have to be intentional about, because I'm one of those people that can be really, really hard on themselves. So I have to like really intentionally give myself grace, because you're not going to get it right all the time. Sometimes you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay, because life is a journey. You're continuing to go on this path. You're continuing to learn from your decisions, from your mistakes, from yourself. Continue to trust yourself. Continue to trust God. You are making the right decisions. You are on the right path. And even if you venture off that path, you will be redirected to exactly where you're supposed to be. Because look where you are today. It always works out for your good. Let that be your affirmation. Everything always works out for my good. God is always working everything out for my good. So keep that in mind as you go through this next week. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and let me know in the comments what is something that you do or that you can do to build trust in yourself. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and send it to somebody that it might be inspirational to. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for watching.